everyone, Dave Jackson here, ESPN rules analyst on ESPN Hockey, and you're listening to the Sports Circus.
Welcome to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Today's show is brought to you by UppercutChops.com. Check out their tasty selection of all-natural, dry-aged USDA, Prime Angus, and Wagyu steaks and chops. Wait till you taste their best-in-class New York steaks, the filet mignon, the king of all those cowboy cut and tomahawk cut ribeyes. How about that short rib of beef? Boy, I've never had better short rib of beef or half-pound Wagyu burgers. Check them out at UppercutChops.com. That's UppercutChops.com. Or give them a call to find out what's for dinner. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100 for UppercutChops.com. All right, a big welcome in everybody listening in on all of our radio affiliates, everybody watching on television on Pick Your Favorite Network affiliate as well as independent. Also, a big welcome into everybody that is watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, WOW, Charter, and independent cable affiliates where applicable, as well as on Hotel TV where applicable, plus on Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. Check that out. Chicago Food Favorites, a fun group. Food, your favorite restaurants, your favorite recipes, your favorite foods, make some friends, have some fun. Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. And by the way, folks, if you're just tuning in for the first time, we've teamed up with Vacation Buddies, who wants to give you a couple of nights right here in fabulous Las Vegas, Orlando, Florida, or in Branson, Missouri, if you can answer a very simple trivia question. And that question is this: which of these NBA superstars won 6, not 4, not 5, we're going to go with 6 NBA titles? Is it A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan? If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Vacation Buddies is not affiliated with the station, but they want you to travel and have a couple of nights in Vegas, Orlando, Florida, or in Branson, Missouri. If you know the answer to that simple trivia question, 888-576-5777. Call now. All right. Going to jump into Major League Baseball here. Major League Baseball, boy, it's been an interesting season. And just when you think it's starting to take a little bit of shape as to which teams are the pretenders and which ones are the contenders, you look and say, well, what have some of these teams done during the trade deadline, or actually after the trade deadline? You see the Toronto Blue Jays, they made a couple of moves. Guess what? The Blue Jays are starting to stretch it out a little bit over everybody in the division. And it's the Blue Jays at 19 games over. That's right, 19 games over. This is the Blue Jay team that has been building for a while. They've been building around guys like Vlad Guerrero Jr. and Bo Bichette. I keep saying Dante Bichette. Bo Bichette, and some other really key players over there. And they've got themselves one hell of a team. I have to tell you that. The Blue Jays, they're just playing average ball in their last 10. But guess what? They are pacing themselves 4.5 ahead of Boston, who's playing pretty good ball. But Boston, let's face it, they've lost the last few, and they're starting to feel a little bit of pain. In fact, Garrett Crochet did not make it out of his last, I guess, usually beginning with 5-6 innings. Well, guess what? Didn't make it to at least the 5th inning in the last one, so he didn't get himself a W over there. However, it's the Blue Jays 4.5 over the Red Sox. It's the Yankees 6 games back, and then the Tampa Bay Rays, who are 5 games under, at 12 back, and the Orioles in the cellar at 15.5 back. Looking at the American League Central, it's just when you think it couldn't get any uglier for certain teams, you wonder what's going on with the Detroit Tigers. They had at one point, I think, a 14-game lead Now it's down to 6.5 over Cleveland. Cleveland just keeps playing steady ball. Meanwhile, it's Detroit that has been floundering about. And, geez, just when you thought they were going to run away with it, at the differential at plus 78. And Cleveland's at a minus 19. They've scored 19 less runs than Detroit, but they've been very efficient. And it's the Cleveland Guardians that have won 8 of their last 10. Meanwhile, Detroit's just playing 500 ball, won the last couple of games. But, well, let's face it, they're playing the cellar-dwelling, beloved White Sox of mine. However, it's Detroit still 6.5 games up, but the Royals aren't out of it just yet. They're 9.5 back, still playing 500 ball. The Twinkies are done, and of course the White Sox are done. Over the American League West, boy, things have really tightened up over there. Houston, well, let's face it, they're playing 500 ball, and they are 15 games over, but guess what? Seattle is right on their ass, and they are 1 game off the pace. They're 9-1 in their last 10. Seattle's won their last 7 in a row, and they are playing really, really good ball. Boy, I tell you what, since the deadline, this team has really shown up. And so they're 1 game out of the American League West. And remember, Seattle has some of the best pitching in baseball as well. Meanwhile, the Texas Rangers are a couple of games over 500. They're not playing very well, but they haven't gone on that run yet, and they're 6.5 back off the pace. So in the American League, when you look at what has happened over the last, 10 days or something or another, you say, all right, well, we've got our division leaders right now, and the one that's in question, I would argue, is certainly the Houston Astros, because it's Seattle right on their tail. However, looking at this wild card setup, that's another discussion. Because as we look at the wild card, we say, well, who's really in the driver's seat here? Well, it seems to me that Seattle is in a really, really good position in this wild card situation right now. Because, again, remember, they're only 1 game off the pace, but they're 13 over 500. Now, Boston is 10 over 500. Now, Seattle actually sits 3 games in first out of the 3 in the wild card slots, and Boston is a game and a half up. So those 2 teams, they sit in the number 1 and number 2 slot, and somehow it's the Yankees, but they're only in the 3rd spot, but they're only 1 game above Cleveland. That's right, only 1 and 2.5 ahead of the Texas Rangers. So this American League race is really tightening up. Really tightening up. I'd like to see what's going to happen by the end of the month. Let's shift over to the National League. And it is the Phillies really starting to stretch it out over the New York Metropolitans. And the Phillies now have a 6-game lead over New York for the division. And the Mets are absolutely reeling. They've lost their last 7. They're 1-9 in their last 10. And they're just not looking really good. I tell you what, they're really good at home, but boy, when it comes to playing road games, the Mets are awful. They're 9 games under 500, whereas Philadelphia is 4 games over 500, and Philadelphia plays above 500 ball against the teams that are above 500. They're beating the teams that they need to stay ahead of, but they're not just beating up on the other teams. They're actually winning on the road against teams that are sub and above 500, whereas the Mets are below 500 against the teams, against the good teams, and they're 9 games under on the road. And that's the difference between these 2 teams. And Philadelphia is in a really good spot. Yet the Mets are holding one of the playoff spots in the wild card right now. Over in the National League Central, it is the Brewers and the Brewers. They have won their last 10. This is their second 10-game win streak this season. Boy, I tell you, the Brewers are just playing great ball. In fact, right now, statistically, they are the best team in Major League Baseball today. I mean, let's face it, these guys are playing. And it's not that they're just playing. I mean, they're winning. They're winning decisive games. They're winning the tight games. They're winning in different ways. They're throwing leather. They kind of remind me of the 2005 Chicago White Sox. But this Milwaukee Brewers team hits a hell of a lot better. These guys have a run differential of 138. Now, it was the Cubs at one time that was leading the world in run differential. And the Cubs have dropped off. They are 6.5 games off the pace of the Brewers, yet they sit in first out of the 3 wild card teams. And those Cincinnati Reds are 4 over, which I have to tell you, folks, to me, I find it kind of humorous because I actually predicted the Cincinnati Reds to be 4 games over at the start of the season. I figured they were going to finish the season at 83 and 79. Well, this is the exact pace that the Reds are going at. But now the Reds sit 2 games out of a wild card slot. How do you like that? And so these guys are playing good ball. And look over their shoulder. That's right. You better take a look, Reds, because the St. Louis Cardinals are only 1 game behind you, 2 games over 500, and they are 3 back of that last wild card slot. Over in the National League West, it's the Dodgers. Boy, their lead has gone from double digits over the Padres to only a game and a half back. And the Padres have made the most, of course, at the trade deadline. And right now, they've won their last 2 games. They're 7-3 in their last 10. But guess what? It's the Padres, a game and a half off the pace. But the Padres are in the second wild card slot right now at 3.5 up. That's a comfortable 3.5 up. And remember, it's the Mets in the third wild card slot. And remember, it's the Reds and Cardinals right behind them. Anything could happen with that third slot. But boy, baseball's really tightening up. Let's take a look at what's going on down at the farm when we come back on the Sports Circus. Lots more to come. I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it out here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Excellent. If you'd like to borrow up to $100,000 and get pre-approved in minutes, call the number we'll give you at the end of this commercial. Our lending partners have already loaned millions of dollars to individuals just like you, and we're ready to lend you up to $100,000 if you qualify. Even if your credit is not perfect, you could use the money to pay off high-interest credit cards, for home renovations, or consolidate existing debt. You can get flexible, easy-to-pay terms. The consultation to find out if you qualify is free. To find out if you qualify for our special financing program, call this toll-free number 24 hours a day. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. 800-335-1376. That's 800-335-1376. Important terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Loan amount, annual percentage rate, and term will vary depending on creditworthiness. Applying does not guarantee approval. Account approval is subject to verification and confirmation of your credit history and acceptance by a lender. If you choose to apply for a loan through us, a consumer report will be obtained to evaluate your creditworthiness in connection with your application for credit.
That's the sound of sizzling, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks from UppercutChops.com. Their best-in-class filet mignons, New York steaks, and the king of all steaks, the tomahawk and cowboy cut ribeyes are the best in the business. Even their Prime Wagyu burgers will likely be the best you've ever had. Browse the full selection of steaks and chops at UppercutChops.com from the comfort of your home or on your mobile device. UppercutChops.com delivers all-natural, dry-aged USDA Prime Wagyu and Angus steaks and chops directly to your door. store without the hassle of going to the grocery store and fight crowds to pick from a small selection of average at best meats with injected steroids, fillers, and coloring added to look good. Find out what's for dinner at uppercutchops.com or call 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. 714-948-0100. Or make your selection directly at uppercutchops.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Roy Firestone. Now it's time to throw it back to Sal.
Thank you, Roy, and welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm Mary Master Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. This segment brought to you in part by our friends over at the College of Southern Nevada Athletics. Check them out at csncoyotes.com for upcoming games and events. That's the College of Southern Nevada Athletics, csncoyotes.com. Folks, make sure you check them out. All right, welcome back, everybody, listening in on our affiliates, radio and television, including our friends over on 99.1 FM, WDJY in Atlanta, Georgia. Thanks for waking up with us, by the way. Over in Auburn, Alabama, WAUD 1230 on the AM dial. That's home of the Atlanta Braves. Thanks for driving home with us. Everybody else up and down the Midwest, out through the West Coast. Those driving between Los Angeles and Las Vegas on Interstate 15 Highway Country Radio, 101.5 FM and 107.3 FM. Thanks for joining us over there, all the way up through San Francisco, up to Anchorage, down to CBS Sports, 1500 KHKA over in Honolulu. And that is home of the New York Yankees, the Alabama Crimson Tide, and the San Francisco 49ers. All right. And by the way, everybody watching on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectral, Wild Charter, and independent cable affiliates in select markets. Thanks for joining us, as well as on Hotel TV, same. Plus everybody on social media, everybody streaming on Pick Your Favorite streaming platform, plus on Facebook on Chicago Food Favorites. Check that out, Chicago Food Favorites, fun group. Talk about your favorite foods, favorite recipes, favorite restaurants, make some friends, have some fun. Again, Chicago Food Favorites on Facebook. Now, in case you're just tuning in the first segment, we had a message from our friends over at Vacation Buddies giving away a couple of nights over in Branson, Missouri, or in Orlando, Florida, or right here in Las Vegas. If you know the answer to a very simple trivia question, I was going to change it to which of these superstars had 4 NBA titles. Then I said, well, maybe 5. Now let's go with 6. And it was which of these actually won 6 NBA titles? Which one of these superstars? And it was A, Magic Johnson, B, Shaquille O'Neal, C, Kobe Bryant, or D, Michael Jordan. If you know the answer, call 888-576-5777, 888-576-5777. Of course, Vacation Buddies is not affiliated with this station, but they want you to have a great time in either Las Vegas, Orlando, or Branson, Missouri. They want to give you a couple of nights at either one of those locations. Give a call, 888-576-5777. All right, checking out what's going on in baseball down on the farm. And it's sort of significant in today's discussion because we think of those trade deadlines. We think of which teams are rebuilding and which ones are just, they just keep on trucking. So there's a prospect ranking list. And I'm going to have a look at this. And we're going to go from the top down. We're not going to cover all 100 of these. Hell no. We have some other things to talk about here too. But the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are in rebuild mode, the number 1 ranked prospect in Major League Baseball is somebody by the name of Connor Griffin. He's in high A right now, shortstop outfielder. So he does play a couple of positions, kind of like O'Neal Cruz, which was a shortstop outfielder. Well, actually, he was moved to the outfield from the shortstop position. And so maybe that opens up some space for Connor Griffin to step in when he is ready. Now, there's another guy that plays shortstop as well, who's the number 2 prospect in Major League Baseball. He's playing Double-A for the Detroit Tigers, a team that's certainly on the upswing and likely going to be in the playoff picture. That's Kevin McGonigal. And this guy is one of those 5'10", 187 fireball, just a wrecking ball kind of a build on this guy. And boy, he is one hell of a player. Bats left, throws right. Very strange combination. I grew up with one of those. His name is Jimmy Laper. It was awfully hard playing against him when we played fast pitch against the wall with the painted box on the wall, because he was one of those guys that hit lefty, but he threw righty, and it's a little confusing. But then again, I love the lefty-lefty matchup as a left-handed pitcher, so I would throw the breaking ball at him, and of course he'd run out of the box thinking he was going to get hit. Plus, I was a little bit, you might say, wild in the strike zone anyway. You never knew if I was going to get it by you or if you were going to get hit in the head. And that's the best part about it. My buddy Scott felt a few of those in the head, but that's what happens. Now, I would argue that this is probably the best prospect in Major League Baseball, yet another shortstop. And this guy was picked up by the Athletics, soon to be the Las Vegas A's, in the deal that sent Miller over to San Diego, their closer. And Leo DeVries is a 6'1", 183 switch hitting shortstop, and he is in high A right now, and he is only 18 years of age. But man, this kid, he checks all the boxes. I would argue that the only difference between him and Connor Griffin, the Pirates, I guess that's their high A ball prospect, who's supposed to be the number one prospect in all of baseball, is he is 6'4" versus the 6'1" of Leo DeVries. And Connor Griffin's a big boy, really big boy, and he's rangy too. So I would like, personally, I'd like the guy that's basically my height at 6'1". I'd rather have a switch hitting shortstop. They're both in the same level. They're both in high A. And DeVries is actually a year younger. He's 18 right now versus 19. But this is one hell of a prospect, arguably a guy that would be, I don't know, he'd be a guy that you'd build your team around. And so I can't believe the Padres gave that up, but the Padres sure gave up a lot. They went all in, and they're right on the heels of the Dodgers. So they said, you know what, we're going to give away our top prospect, and we're going to make a run for this, because the Padres believe that they can beat the Dodgers. And I got to tell you, I'm starting to believe it myself. Even though Mookie Betts is starting to hit the ball, I'm starting to believe the Padres have a better top-to-bottom team when it comes to hitting up and down the lineup. When it comes to fielding, they're probably about a dead heat. I think the Padres run a little bit more, even though the Dodgers do run with a couple, three of their guys. I'm going to say Ohtani and maybe Pages and maybe Hernandez doesn't really run much, but I would argue that there are a few guys out there that I think the Padres have that are a little bit better than the Dodgers. I'm going to give the Padres, even though they're a game and a half back, I'm going to give them the edge to outlast the Dodgers in the regular season. Who knows from there? Now, the number 4 prospect is from the Texas Rangers, a AA prospect, Sebastian Walcott. Another shortstop, also plays third base. And he's a big kid, just like Connor Griffin, the number 1 prospect in baseball. This guy's the number 4. 6'4", a lean and lanky 190. Right-handed bat, right-handed throw. Sebastian Walcott is a very, very good prospect. And it seems like he'll be up next year. Whereas Connor Griffin, the number 1 pick, his timeline will probably bring him up in about a year and a half, maybe 2 years. A season and a half, maybe 2 seasons. Let's put it that way. So Sebastian Walcott's got a bigger upside. And I would also say that Jesus Mate, another shortstop, yes, with the already loaded Milwaukee Brewers. He's in high A right now. He's only 18 years of age. His ETA, he's about 3 seasons out. But he's about the same size as DeVries, 6'1", 183 versus 187. So he's about 4 pounds heavier. Another switch-hitting shortstop. So the Brewers and the A's, 2 teams that are being built for the future, they both have almost the carbon copy of player, same age, same height, same switch hitting, same everything. But I think DeVries is a little bit better. That's your top 5, and they're all shortstops. Well, hell, let's just add one more. The number 6 is J.J. Werthold. He is also a shortstop / second baseman utility player. This guy is ready to go. I think right now the Cardinals could bring him up. He's in AAA right now, and he's 22. This kid's ready, 5'10", 190, built like a wrecking ball. And JJ seems to be One of those guys that could slip in there right now. And he could take the spot of maybe a Nolan Gorman. He could jump right into the major league lineup. He's playing well on AAA. And he's a lefty on the stick and a right-handed throw. Another one of those confusing players. And so out of your top 6, they're all shortstops. How do you like that? Now, number 7 is a right-handed pitcher. It's the first pitcher on the list, and that's for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Remember, the Pirates have a couple of good pitchers already in Skeens, who's probably the best pitcher in the league, and they also have Mitch Keller, And so between those guys, they've got 2 good pieces. Bubba Chandler is the 7th-ranked prospect in all of Major League Baseball. He's already in AAA. He's going to play in the bigs this season. He'll be a late call-up when they expand the rosters. 6'3", 218. And again, another switch-hitting, believe it or not, he actually is a switch-hitting pitcher, right? And so he also throws from the right side. And so there's another one of those switch-hitting, throwing kind of guys. And so that is Bubba Chandler. And while we're at it, let's just go to Samuel Basallo from the Baltimore Orioles, another kid that could be called up this season, a big, lanky catcher / first baseman. He's ready to go right now, 6'4", 180. That's a very lean catcher. But I would say, given that size and that shape, he'll probably find himself at first base for that long stretch for the throws from the third base and shortstop. That would make a little bit more sense. And besides, the Orioles already have a very good catcher. So I would say with the loss of Ryan O'Hearn to the San Diego Padres, that Basallo would likely end up being the first baseman for the Baltimore Orioles. Back here in a few minutes with more prospects down on the farm in Major League Baseball in just a few moments. Don't go anywhere. I'm your ringmaster Sal of the Sports Circus, a primetime, nationally syndicated television, radio, sports, and entertainment show. The Sports Circus covers topics others are too scared to talk about. There's no other primetime show like it on here that'll punch you in the face and you'll beg for more. Join me, Hall of Famers, world champions, and all-star celebrity guests for chaos and controversy here on Libsyn and all podcast platforms, plus thesportscircus.com. Remember, folks, it's a circus and we prove it every day.
Hello Americans, it's Uncle Sam here. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes to the IRS or state, don't worry. I've got important news that may help you negotiate a lower tax bill. In today's economy, the IRS has released a variety of new rules and is offering more flexible terms to help Americans looking to settle their IRS debt. If you apply today, we may be able to lift your wage garnishments and release a freeze on your bank assets or business. Our team of tax professionals can resolve your case and stop collection actions against you. Even if you've been audited or haven't filed a return in years, they can help. Call right now and find out if you qualify to settle your IRS debt for far less than what you owe. Pick up your phone right now and call us for a free $500 IRS tax review. Don't wait. Here's the number.
Call right now. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. 800-950-2049. For the last time, that's 800-950-2049.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. B-E-E-P-I-N autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. How do you not love that music? I'm Tom Brenneman.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm your ringmaster, Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio, AAMP Television. Folks, make sure to check out thesportscircus.com for upcoming guests, prior guests, recorded shows which can be found on Apple, Amazon, Audible, Spotify, Pandora, iHeart, YouTube, Stitcher, Deezer, plus all the others. Make sure you also check out the partners page. I was going to say something else because it's going to say the store at thesportscircus.com, which, of course, I want you to check out the store, but this is not a plug for that. It's just make sure you check out the partners page. Lots of great partners over there. One of those is Al's Number One Italian Beef, 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy. That's Al's Number One Italian Beef, 1079 West Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy. By the way, folks, there is the Festa, the Italian Fest over in Chicagoland. That's over on Taylor Street in Chicago's Little Italy from August 14th through August 17th. If you're in the area, make sure you go. That's brought to you by Onesti Entertainment. And Ron Onesti is a friend of ours. All right. And I have to tell you, it is one hell of a fest. And, man, it is really exciting. There's great music there, great folk music, incredible food, and everything you could think of. And it goes on for quite some distance as well. And I have to tell you, if you've never done this, folks, it is really something. That is the Italian Fest over in Chicago from the 14th of August through the 17th of August. Lots of fun. Make sure you stop by Al's Number One Italian Beef. Get yourself some great food over there. And if you can't make it over there, check them out at alsbeef.com. That's alsbeef.com. They are the creators of the famous Italian beef sandwich. 117 years ago, their family created the sandwich. Boy, what an incredible sandwich it is. And I talk about it because I love it. And by the way, they've been in business since 1938. That's right, 1938, serving up that great sandwich plus other food. That's Al's Number One Italian Beef. Check them out at alsbeef.com. All right, of course, we can let that applause go forever, but we're not going to. We're going to get back down on the farm, talk about Major League Baseball prospects. So it was the Pirates, the Tigers, the A's, the Rangers, the Brewers, the Cardinals, and the Pirates again, and then the Orioles. That's your top 8. And then just like the Detroit Tigers had the number 2 in a shortstop, well, they also have the number 9 prospect and outfielder, Max Clark. And Max is currently in Double-A, and he'll be ready in a couple of seasons, lefty-lefty, so he throws left and he hits left. And he's one of those regular 6', 205 kind of guys, 20 years of age, but Max is the real deal. Now, the Phillies actually have somebody in the top 10 as well, and he's a right-handed pitcher, Andrew Painter. He's in AAA, and this guy is ready to come up today, and he is a big boy at 6'7". That's a tall drink of water. 215, so he's a lanky right-hander. Slingshots that ball in, I have to tell you. This kid, he'll see some action this year, I believe. And now, one of the ones that I want you to really take a close look at is for the Seattle Mariners. He may have a chance, a shortstop again, or third baseman. He may have a shot when they expand the roster to get up. into big league baseball, and his name is Colt Emerson. And Colt is a very, very good player with an incredible arm. He's one of those left-handed hitting, right-throwing kind of guys, 6'195", 195 in Double A right now, but he could make the jump to Major League Baseball. A lot of talk about Colt Emerson. Watch out, and you'll see him. Watch that name, folks, and go get some of his rookie baseball cards because that guy's legit. In fact, I just got one today. Now, the Dodgers, they're first in the top 12, so to say. It's the first one out of these for the Dodgers. Has Josue De Paula. Now, he is a 20-year-old in high A ball. And this guy's an outfielder, lefty-lefty, 6'3", 185. He's not expected to be up till next year. I wouldn't think maybe even a little bit longer. The Giants right behind them have Bryce Eldridge, a first baseman, and he is in AAA right now, a very big 6'7", 240. He's got the right frame, and I would imagine that you'll see Bryce Eldridge before the season is up. He's a left-handed hitting, right-throwing first baseman, a very good one, too, as a matter of fact. Of course, look, all these guys are good because they're the top prospects for Major League Baseball. The Minnesota Twins, with their first showing in the top prospect list, is number 14, Walker Jenkins. He's an outfielder, a Double-A outfielder, expected to be up next year. I would say that he'll probably even get a shot this year because the Twins aren't going anywhere. And this guy's an outfielder at 6'3", 210. Well, let's face it. They need some company out there. They lost a couple of players at the trade deadline. And don't be surprised if this left-handed hitting, right-throwing outfielder makes it. Now, Cleveland, who is right ahead of the Minnesota Twins, have Travis Bazzana. But you can call him Travis Bazzana, a second baseman, AAA ball. He may make it up this year. 22, 6 foot, about 200 pounds. Another right-handed throwing, left-handed hitting second baseman. There's a lot of those righty-lefty batting kind of players. And so he may see some action because I don't really know if Cleveland can hang around into September. Cleveland's going to make a push, and you'll see somebody come off the waiver wire, I think, for the Cleveland Guardians. Number 16, it's the Brewers again. Now, the Brewers have the number 5 prospect in Jesus Mate, a shortstop. Now the Brewers also have another infielder in Luis Pena, and he is in high A just like Mate is, and he's an 18-year-old just like Mate, and he's not scheduled to be up for a few seasons. He's got some development work to be done, but this guy is number 16, and we're only going to go to about 25 here. Ethan Holiday for the Colorado Rockies. He's playing rookie ball right now. He's a shortstop, just like number 18, Eli Willits from the Washington Nationals. He also is a shortstop, and he's one right behind Ethan Holiday for the Rocks. So the Rocks and Nationals have back-to-back shortstops, both in rookie league, both projected to be up about the same time. Eli Willits is only 17 years of age, and these guys aren't supposed to make it up for a few years or so. But Ethan Holiday is a big 6'4" versus the 6'1" of Eli Willits. So the Rockies have something to look forward to at the number 17 overall prospect. And here's the Dodgers again. They have number 12. Now they also have number 19 in Zahir Hope. And it's an outfielder, another outfielder. And the other one, of course, was 6'3", 185 lefty-lefty. And this guy, Hope, is 5'10", 193. So he's kind of built like a wrecking ball. And he is 20 years of age, just like Josue De Paula. So you have two guys that are very, very similar. You got a lefty-lefty here and a lefty-lefty there. Both of the Dodgers outfield prospects in the top 20 are left-handed outfielders. And in number 20, it's Carson Bengi for the New York Metropolitans. He's in AAA, but sort of stuck there right now because he's an outfielder really with nowhere to go. Not projecting him to be up for a couple of seasons, just a regular size, left-handed hitting, right-handed throwing outfielder. Now, over to number 21. Boy, this is terrible. I'm looking for my beloved White Sox. They don't have anybody to weigh down the trough. Number 21, Thomas White for Miami, the much-improved Miami Marlins. This guy plays Double-A ball. He's a left-handed pitcher. He's a big one, too, at 6'5", 240 lefty-lefty. And, of course, at number 22 as another left-handed pitcher for Seattle. Boy, Seattle's got one of the more intriguing prospects, but he's way down the trough. We did a special show that covered about half of the show on his content alone. And that guy his name is Jurangelo Cincha. We'll get to him a little bit later. But anyway, the lefty pitcher for Seattle's in rookie league right now. He's only 21, regular-sized guy, left-handed pitcher. Jordan Lawler has seen some time in big league baseball for the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he's in AAA. And, of course, this he's an utility infielder right now, right-handed throwing, right-handed hitting utility infielder. But you're going to see Jordan Lawler again when they expand the roster. The Boston Red Sox, with their first showing here, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, this is the first showing for the Boston Red Sox, all the way down to number 24, a shortstop. He's in high A ball, and he's he's actually a smaller guy, 5'11", 170. He's a pretty small guy, small frame, grand scheme of things. He's not going to be ready for a couple seasons. The New York Yankees finally hit the top 25. George Lombard Jr., a shortstop / second baseman in Double A ball, regular-sized guy, maybe a touch bigger, about the size of maybe a Derek Jeter, and a right-handed throwing and hitting shortstop and second baseman. Now scrolling down, the Blue Jays at number 26 with a righty pitcher. There's the Pittsburgh Pirates again with another right-handed pitcher. This guy's only an A ball. And going down the trough here, the Cincinnati Reds show up with Sal Stewart, third baseman, second baseman, AAA. This kid can make it up this year if the Reds fall off. Maybe they'll bring him up when the rosters expand. He's a regular height guy, but a little bit bigger, a bigger muscular guy. He's not scheduled to be up until next season. He's 21 years of age. And so as we move down, there's the White Sox at Braden Montgomery. Number 33 is an outfielder, and he is a switch-hitting, right-handed throwing outfielder. He's got a really good upside. He's in Double A right now. We'll see where he goes. But going down here real quick, Noah Schultz, a very good left-handed pitcher for the White Sox, number 38, AAA. He's going to see some action this year. All right, back here with Little League Baseball in just a few moments here on the Sports Circus.
Excellent.
Hey, bud, what's your problem?
Do you know someone with a drug or alcohol problem? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything. Stop the drug and alcohol nightmare. Are drug and alcohol problems hitting you too close to home? Get help right now. Insurance may cover everything.
800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. 800-831-1560. That's 800-831-1560.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.
Can your IRA stand up to the next financial crisis that our top economists are saying is at our doorsteps? By allocating a percentage of your IRA into physical gold and silver with a tax-free rollover, you can diversify and safeguard your holdings from turbulent markets and economic downturns by putting your IRA back on the gold standard. Find out how to safeguard your assets with a tax-free rollover with a Genesis Gold IRA, the only IRA that can hold physical precious metals. Call now for your free gold and silver report. Protect your IRA today. Don't let your retirement accounts get caught off guard by trade and tariff wars. Learn why a Genesis Gold IRA is the number one choice for thousands of Americans across the nation. 800-709-4423. 800-709-4423. 800-709-4423. That's 800-709-4423.
Do a search on how to get out of credit card debt, and you'll find everything from crazy promises to ways you can try to do it yourself. Many of those ideas just don't work, and they leave you broker than you were. Here's some advice. Call our debt helpline. In a quick and free 5-minute conversation, our experts will listen to you and learn about how much credit card debt you have, what your goals are, and then show you the right solution to help you get out of credit card debt with one new simple, affordable payment. The credit card companies make available special programs to help if you're struggling. All it takes for you to finally get out of credit card debt is one quick, free phone call. So please call right now.
800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. 800-948-6817. That's 800-948-6817. Paid for by the Debt Helpline.
Hey everybody, this is Brian Urlacher. Welcome back to the Sports Circus.
Welcome back to the Sports Circus. I'm the Ringmaster Sal, live from Las Vegas in the AMP TV studio. Big welcome back to everybody listening in on our CBS, NBC, and Fox Sports affiliates and independents from coast to coast. Everybody also on Cox, Comcast, Spectrum, Frontier, Oceanic, Time Warner, Spectrum, Wild, Charter, and independent cable affiliates in select markets, Hotel TV where applicable. And everybody on social media and all streaming platforms, welcome back to the show. All right, going to jump right back into it. And before I get into the Little League, I want to talk just a moment about those players that have made the jump from being the prospects over to Major League Baseball. And out of these top 100 prospects from according to Major League Baseball, that is, these are the guys that are currently playing right now. And Alex Freeland, who was the number 43 prospect in Major League Baseball, he is playing short or third for the LA Dodgers on the roster. The active roster right now going down the list over in Anaheim is Christian Moore. Boy, there's a lot of hype around this kid, and he's pretty good, but boy, he really needs to be developed. He's 22, a second baseman. It's getting real busy and really clogged up in the Anaheim infield. There's a lot of good prospects over there. Christian Moore may have to go to a different position. As I see it, maybe jump somewhere else. Now, at the number 59 pick is the number 59 prospect in Major League Baseball is C.J. Kayfus. This guy's been playing pretty good ball for the Clevelands. I'm not going to say the Guardians. I always want to call them the Indians. We'll call them the Clevelands. Anyway, first baseman, outfielder, utility player. He's a 6-foot kind of guy, lefty-lefty. And C.J. is a pretty good player. And this guy is going to be up for the big club for quite a while. I believe also that Rhett Lauder will stay up with the Cincinnati Reds as a right-handed pitcher. They need a little bit of help. And, boy, the Reds just can't seem to get any stretch over that, playing just above 500 ball. Minnesota Twins, because of all the moves that they've made, they got a utility player in Luke Keechel, second base, outfield, first base, whatever. And he is 22, righty-righty. And Luke will probably hold a roster spot moving forward. And as we go down to Colson Montgomery, this is probably one of the better out of the top 100 talents that we've seen yet. And man, this kid has made an enormous impact for the White Sox. And he is up with the big club, and he's not going anywhere. He is staying at the shortstop position. He's a big kid at 6'3", 230, lots and lots of power. And he leaves the yard on a regular basis with those hits. I mean, this guy hits for power, hits for average. He's got a good glove. He's a very, very good player. The number 71 prospect in Major League Baseball. Now going all the way down to, let's go to here, the number 91, Cam Schlitter for the New York Yankees. He is a right-handed pitcher and a pretty good one too. 6'6", big kid, 6'6", 225, right-handed relief pitcher, and I don't know if they're going to put him in a starting role. Logan Henderson, another guy for the Brewers, actually is one slot above him at number 90, and he's up on the big club right now, a solid pitcher. But here's the one that I want to bring your attention to. Now, I did a special on this kid. It's my own version of a special. His name is Gerangelo Cinche. So he's in the Mariners organization. He is the rarest of rare right-handed and left-handed pitcher. He was just moved up to Double-A, and man, this kid is legit. He is a strikeout pitcher, apparently from the left side, and he is a ground ball pitcher from the right side. Very interesting mix. He's in Double-A. He's 22 years of age, originally from Curacao. I spent about a half an hour talking about this kid. Ever since I went and had that show just recently, I went and got every damn Durangelo Cincha rookie baseball card that I could, and I'm still hunting. I'm going to take every one I could find. Being a switch pitcher, I only knew one person. My uncle was that, and he was in the Dodgers organization. This kid is in the Mariners organization. I have to tell you, it's such a rare thing that when you have a guy that can throw from the lefty or righty side in the middle of an inning, so much for let's put a pinch hitter in there, because the pinch hitters don't matter, because then the pitcher could turn right around and pitch from the other side. How do you like them apples? So Durangelo Cincha is one of those guys. Get those rookie cards, kids, adults, whatever. Parents, get them for your kids for Christmas or whatever the heck it is, birthdays. This is one of those rare pitchers, and this kid's going to be good, and he'll be in demand for 20 years if he could keep throwing lefty and right-handed. How do you like that, folks? In fact, I got those. They're the Don Russ rated rookie cards. And so you'll get his A-ball or Double-A cards right now. Just get some cards. You'll thank me for it down the road. All right. Now that we're done with the minor league prospects, let's switch over to Little League World Series and the bracket. That's right. There is a bracket for the Little League World Series and the whole shindig that they're about to embark upon. And look, it's exciting. Williamsport is a great place, and this is where dreams are made. And you think about the teams representing these United States of America, right? So you have in the bracket, you will have an Eastern team, of course, right? You will have a Southeast, a Mountain, a New England, a Great Lakes, a Northwest, and you'll also have a Southwest and a West, right? So really there are a bunch of different regions here. Now over in the bracket, starting Wednesday, August 13th, we go to Clarendon Hills, Illinois. Clarendon Hills, which is suburban Chicago. Yes! How do you like that? They are playing right here in Las Vegas. They're playing against the Las Vegas team. How do you like them apples? Nice round of applause for Vegas. Yes! All right, now game number 4 features Fairfield, Connecticut from the Metro against Richmond, Texas from the Southwest. Now, over on August the 14th, it's going to be Braintree, Massachusetts from the New England division versus Irmo from the Southeast. Irmo, South Carolina from the Southeast. How do you like that? And game number 8 is Sioux Falls, South Dakota from the Midwest region against Upper Uchelon Township in Pennsylvania. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. Anyway, it's those guys from Pennsylvania out of the Mid-Atlantic. And, of course, Friday, August 15th, it's Bonnie Lake, Washington from the Northwest versus the second team from over there. And game number 12 features Honolulu, over in the West, of course, from West team number 4. So going on to Saturday and Sunday games, those are all, of course, the winners of those games and whatnot. But looking at the bracket, I'm finding this interesting because I've never really looked at the Little League World Series bracket before. So imagine just like in the NCAA tournament, right? You've got the 4 quadrants, and all the games are being played technically in the top 2 brackets. We'll go with the U.S. side on one, then the international side on the other. And of course, again, it is squaring off in game number 2 because the international side is game number 1. Game 2 is the Mountain versus Great Lakes. Once you start getting these division winners or whatnot, you'll get these teams. And game 4 being Southwest versus the Metro. And then game 6, Southeast versus New England. Game 8 is Midwest versus Mid-Atlantic. Game 10, Northwest versus at-large. Whoever wins from the U.S., it's an at-large team. And then, of course, it is Game 12, the U.S. versus the West winner. Now, over in the international bracket, in game number 1 is Puerto Rico, which I don't know why they're in the international bracket because they are part of the U.S. Anyway, it's Puerto Rico against Latin America. Now, the winner of that Latin America-Puerto Rico game will square off against Canada on the 15th of August. By the way, that Puerto Rico-Latin America game is played on August the 13th. Now, August the 14th also features Japan against Europe-Africa. How do you like that? Boy, that's one kind of a big area there. So the Japan versus Europe or better yet, Japan against Europe-Africa, the winner plays in a game still to be determined between either Canada or the winner of the Puerto Rico-Latin America game versus an at-large team. That team would play, apparently, that's the team that would play Canada, and whoever wins that one will play the winner of the Japan versus Europe-Africa. Now, in the bracket, the lower half of that bracket is Panama and Australia. Of course, we're going to root for Panama because they're a little bit closer, and we're not really a big fan of Australia. However, the winner of the Panama-Australia game faces off against the Caribbean team, and that would be on August the 15th. So that would be game number 11. Boy, that would be one hell of a matchup. At the bottom of the bracket, it's Mexico. Boy, they play some good baseball down there against Asia Pacific. Now, that Asia Pacific, of course, does not include Japan. So that would include apparently China, Korea, and everybody else. And the whole, I guess that whole Asian world, because you can't say Australasia because Australia has their own team. I wonder if that includes New Zealand, maybe the Philippines, maybe some of the other countries that are over there. That's one hell of a bracket. And so you see, that's where all this stuff kind of happens here, folks. And then the Little League World Series Championship game is, better yet, played August 24th. That's game number 38. So they've got 38 games to play here. And boy, it's going to be one hell of a series. And that's in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Somebody told me they just went there not too terribly long ago. And they said, boy, not only was it scenic, but you could feel the energy when you go to that stadium with nobody there. Now, I don't even understand what that means, but I mean, this is where dreams are made and kids become folk heroes, I suppose. And there's a lot of big leaguers that have played in the Little League World Series as well. I've never played. I played 1 year of Little League my whole life. And I was on the worst team in my league, so I never knew what it was like to get to this level. But boy, that's got to be exciting. And I tell you what, I'm really looking forward to it, watching these kids. I just wish they wouldn't use aluminum baseball bats. Wish they would use regular baseball bats, wooden bats. Get these kids ready for playing at the next big level. Just like high school, I wish they wouldn't use the aluminum bats. And college, I wish they would all use the wooden bats. And they're missing the crack of the bats. That is the best sound in the world, hands down. Now, of course, you don't have to believe that everybody has their favorite sound, but I have to tell you, the crack of the bat, in my opinion, is truly as good as it possibly gets. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your ringmaster, Sal. We'll see you in about 23 hours right here on your favorite station. Until then, so long, everyone.
I was your mother and you had a drug problem, I'd grab you by the ear and make you call and get help. You can be in treatment tomorrow and start to get clean in 7 days. Follow Mom's advice and call the Detox and Treatment Helpline now. Write this number down.
800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. 800-814-8628. That's 800-814-8628.
Why pay retail for your next car? Just visit beepinautos.com to find your new-to-you car or truck. They find cars for people, even when cars are hard to find. So just go to beepinautos.com and click on Find Me a Car, and they find your perfect car on the wholesale market. Beepinautos.com. They're a car concierge. Beepinautos.com. BEEPIN autos.com. Beepinautos.com. Now you have a friend in the car business when you need it most. Trusted since 2013. Just click Find Me a Car at beepinautos.com.